Hey everybody, it's me from It's a New Dawn, Lenora. How's everybody doing today? It is a rainy, cold day in New Jersey. We're not getting any snow, which I'm kind of upset about. How about you, Lori? Have any snow over
Same
there?
here, same.
Hmm.
It's rainy and it's like 35. I guess I could go out with a
Yeah,
raincoat and do my walk.
it's exactly what it is here at 35. I was hoping that I'd go out with, I'm babysitting my grandchildren later, and I was hoping we'd go out in the snow, but there isn't any snow. But anyway, here we are. We're on our third week for the agreements, Lori and I. From Lori, it's time. What is it? What is your TikTok?
TikTok is lori.its.time. I'm with Co-Creating Impact podcast and it's time sunshine.com.
All right, thank you very much. This is our third week talking about the four agreements. So we are on don't make assumptions. This is another one that with the second agreement, don't taking things personally into don't make assumptions. I know that yes, they do intertwine and they all go together, but I have a these two were probably the most that impactful on me. Um Before we start though, you guys, I just want to please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's a New Dawn. You can, find all that information in the show notes below, plus Lori's information in the show notes. If you don't ask, you don't receive. So, getting you to subscribe, comment, like, share would be great. Rawr bars, if you're interested in the Rawr bar, go to the link below. You can find out all about them. The best company, they're so great. 10% of all their net proceeds go to Feed the Hungry Children worldwide. There is a coupon now, capital L, Lenny, and the number 5. You'll get 5% off your order. So I want to say that before we start. So, what did you feel in this? Don't make assumptions. What was your take on that when you read the book?
The very first time I saw that, it reminded me of my family always saying, "Make assumptions means you're making an ass out of you and me." And I'm
And
like,
I
"All
have
right,
that written here. I have it written here. Yep.
yeah, no, that,
Yes.
yeah." But the biggest thing was that we never have the courage to ask questions, and I took that piece out of the whole entire chapter, the biggest to heart. And now I've been a curious cat ever since when I read this, like 19, what it was, 97, it came out, when it first came out. That's when I read it. And so I've been told I ask too many questions. I'm constantly asking questions, and I'll be asked a question and I'll follow it up with a question. And they're like, "What are you, a politician?" And I'm just like, I'm just curious. Like, if I don't know the answer, I'm going to tell you, I don't know the answer. If I don't
Hmm.
know it, I don't know it. And I think it's important to note that. But just because another thing was that just because they love us does not mean they can read our minds. That is hard to apply.
Hmm.
Because we
Hmm.
just feel like, oh, they don't know that I'm not feeling like doing that today. Like, why not? Don't they love
Right.
me enough? Yeah.
Right.
And so it's like when you talked about the round dance in the human mind that creates the chaos I'm reading, which causes us to misinterpret everything and misunderstand the miscommunications. I think that happens, like we were talking earlier, I think in the last podcast, when you kind of make an assumption on the text, or I don't even know if that was on your podcast or if we were just discussing it
I think we
personally.
did. I think we have it on the last one
It's
that we
yeah, it's
discussed.
like
Mhm.
it's so true because you can say anything in text. It's the tone or it's the frame of mind. It's so completely different. Although I do like texting more than communicating on the phone, but I'm a type of person that, okay, I just need to know what's going on, just get to the point, let's move on. If we're going to have a lazy, nice little conversation, then yeah, let's have a phone call, right?
Oh, so you like texting more than a phone call to
I
clarify
do.
things?
As far as like, okay, what is it? Let's get quick and to the point, like, um, what time are we doing the Zoom call? 10 o'clock. Okay, great. Now,
Okay.
you know,
Okay. Short and sweet
can
text.
you stop at the grocery store and pick up a loaf of bread, that kind of thing. Or what time are you going to be home? Okay, great. Let's have chicken tonight. Okay. Whatever the case may be. But as far as a conversation, like when you and I've had conversations and we're going to talk and chat about life or anything that's more than just that, then yeah.
A phone call.
phone call.
Yeah. So that's what it does stem off the last agreement, not taking things personally and not making assumptions. I just like pretty much it's like they just go into each other, not taking things, not making assumptions to me. Um, what I think this is in the book, I think. Assumptions are nothing more than lies that we are telling ourselves. This creates a big drama for nothing because we don't really know if something is true or not. So for me, just like I said with the last one, I'm a huge communicator. Um, on the making assumption, making an ass out of you and me, I did put that down just because I'll never forget that from Saturday Night Live. That was like a skit. I don't know if that's where it came from, but just after reading that in the book, I say that mantra in my head before I make an assumption. So it
Mhm.
helps me. It really helps me because you really don't know what is going on in that person's life. You
Right,
really don't. And
right.
what you say with your podcast, and like what's beneath your smile,
Mhm.
you don't know. We could be putting the biggest smile out there, but
Crying
you
ourselves
know,
to sleep at night. Right.
right. And we don't
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
So for me, communication is so important in
Yeah.
figuring out, before I make that assumption, I can't say that I don't quick to the draw make it, but reading this book, right, over and over, and that's the whole point of this whole thing, is changed my whole,
That
mindset
brings
of it.
that brings me to a point of I was talking to a friend the other day and I said, "Have you ever waited tables?" They're like, "What do you mean?" You can kind of tell when people I've waited tables off and on my whole life for a very long time. And it's just you meet so many different personalities, so many different people throughout your time as waiting tables that you never make an assumption. Because I felt like the person was making assumptions about someone. Okay, this was the conversation. So this big Harley Davidson dude came up and started talking, and he had this sweet little voice. You never would have, I'm just like, I never would have put that together, a sweet voice or a harsh voice from a Harley Davidson person. Like, I just don't make that assumption of what a person, how they dress on the outside as to who they are on the inside, what they're going through, what they sound like, what they've been through in their lifetime. It's just one of those things. I can't equate it to waiting tables, but to me, in my mind, I've seen so many when you wait tables, it's just like you just don't make any kind of assumptions about anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. Like bringing that up, like how many times, how many people you see somebody with a ton of tattoos and you label them a certain way, right? Or something like that. Um, I
Well,
have a
and the thing
client.
is, I think that we're more rare when you don't have a tattoo because I was working at Whole Foods and they would come in when I was cashiering for them. I did cashiering and a couple other things in my career, but they would come through, people would come through and be like, "Where's your tattoos?" I'm like, "Please don't be judgmental. Please don't
Oh,
discriminate because I don't have tattoos, you know, like
right,
I don't
right,
have them.
right.
I'm
Because
sorry, I
Whole
don't like
Foods,
needles."
exactly. I don't have tattoos either. Not that I'm not planning on getting them,
I
but
love them. I
um,
think they're gorgeous on people. I don't like
yeah,
the little needles. It's just a preference.
yeah, that doesn't bother me at all. The needles. I just am trying to figure out the best tattoo to symbolize my Dawn who passed away.
Oh, yeah.
My
Yeah,
business is after hummingbirds and butterflies or somehow in
oh, so you've
there.
been thinking
And then
about it.
my dad used to call me Spark Plug.
Yeah.
So I have his writing, you know, with Spark Plug. So somewhere. And then my mom calls me Tiger. And I have her dear, my little tiger or whatever. I have that. I don't know, but I'm gonna do something before I
So, yeah,
die.
and I don't mind acupuncture. I don't know. And it's the ink, thinking about the ink going piercing
No,
my
that's
skin. I don't know.
that's
I just,
true. I
yeah.
don't. You know what? I can't give you a definite answer on that. I mean, it makes sense. You're putting ink in your body. Come on. Mm, but I don't know. So many people have them. Um,
Right?
I have a client that not verbatim. I'm not going to say, but why do other people, they have all the money and they're so happy, and I'm like, are you kidding? Like, why do we see all these movie stars who commit suicide, and you make that assumption that they have everything, right? They have everything. They've got looks, they've got money, they've got fame, they've got, and how many times do we see death and suicide? We're making that assumption. You look on social media, and I swear, from this book, I don't make assumptions like that anymore. You guys need to read this book. Anyway, I don't make any assumption. I mean, like I said, there might be that quick first thing assumption, but I don't equate myself with anybody on social media. Like, I'm not like, oh, I wish I was like them because they have everything. But how many people do that? And it's so sad, and that's why I said, if we can bring this into schools, when they're young, not to make an assumption that everybody has it going on just because you see it on social media, because that's the way it is. It just is. And I don't see it getting any lighter as far as social media. It's everywhere, right?
Yeah, it's
You can't
comparison. We
even,
can't compare ourselves with others and what they have and don't have.
no, we can't make an assumption that these people, just because they put the perfect pose, like I'll say of myself, like, what do you think? I put the worst poses of me on TikTok? Or like, how many times I pose with the muscle, flexing or whatever? Come on. We all have, bottom line is, we all have our shit. And it's more comforting than not. Not that we should all dwell in our misery, but it's comforting to know that we all do. And we can't make an assumption just because you have money, or you may be beautiful or whatever, that you're happy or that you'll have it going on. I don't know. I'm going a little deep here, but it affected me that much, though, where it was a huge thing for me, because I get having an accident and paralyzed face, and my beauty, when I was young, pretty much stripped for at least that year, where I was like a stroke victim. It's like, reading the book and everything helped me a lot, not to make that assumption that there's not pain in everybody. Do you know what I mean? That I'm not alone in how
Yeah,
I
everybody
feel.
has it. It's our own perceptions from our old belief systems that comes into play. It's all about perception. I don't perceive that you're any better than me. I don't perceive that you're any worse than me. We are equal in humanality. I mean, it's just subconscious and conscious living. And what he says at the very end of that chapter, I want to read this real quick, is when you transform your whole dream, magic just happens in your life. What you need comes to you easily because spirit moves freely through you. This is the mastery of intent, the mastery of the spirit, the mastery of love, gratitude, and life. This is the goal. Boom, personal freedom. I love that.
So wait, so that's at the end of the chapter of this agreement, or the
Yes.
whole book?
The
Oh, okay.
agreement.
Beautiful. It is freedom. It is
Yeah.
definitely freedom. I know I got a little deep there, but the reason I did was, like I said, I mean, I read this in probably a little later than you, maybe 2000 or whatever,
Mhm.
but reading it over at least 8 times, got something, a new perspective, and,
Yeah.
well, you know what I'm saying? But that definitely helped me get out of taking things personally, making assumptions. I keep going back to those too, but those were so huge, so
Mhm.
huge. So, do you
Yeah.
want to share anything else? I know these are very short little podcasts, but my goal is for you guys to get that audio or to pick up this book, because it's a life changer. I don't know if you'd agree, Lori,
It's a
but
life changer. Cheers.
yes. Cheers. Do you have to add any? Do you want to add anything else?
No, Lori with Co-Creating Impact podcast. You can be on it. It's 15 minutes of just chatting, and it's timesunshine.com for resources and tools. I am also a health coach, so I help people get to that point of through their dietitian, through their doctor, and things of that nature. Lori.its.time on TikTok. Thank you, thank you, thank
And
you.
you are wondering, yeah, and I was just on her podcast, so I'm really excited to have that out.
Yeah.
And you guys, you can, I am an RN holistic health coach. I don't think I say that enough, and I am available for nutritional counseling mainly now. All my information is in the show notes below. Rawr, everything you need to know. If you want to be on the podcast, you can get in touch with me there too. So on that note, Lori, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you always. Have a wonderful and blessed day, everybody. Bye.
Beautiful.